If I offer to help you turn your relationship marketing from a time sink into a brand new $200,000 a year revenue stream where you're getting paid for things that you're already doing for free, would you take me up on the offer? My name is Dove Gordon from ProfitableRelationships.com, and quite by accident, I discovered that you can become an under-the-radar leader in your industry by building your own Alchemy Network. For more than 10 years, I've been leading my own Alchemy Network, and as a result, both directly and indirectly, it has been the source of nearly all of my firm's consulting and coaching revenue. But I never thought it was anything special. I used to think anyone can do this, until I realized really only a year or two ago that nobody I knew was. That's when I decided to help one of my clients start his own Alchemy Network. And he had a most remarkable experience as a direct result. In a less than 72-hour period, 5 executives at $500 million and billion-dollar plus companies booked themselves onto his calendar to talk to him. He'd reached out to them to invite them to his Alchemy Network. And it was just so different from what they were used to getting that they booked a time to talk to him. 4 out of the 5 joined his Alchemy Network, along with several dozen others just like them who were already members. My client felt that the 5th one wasn't a fit, so they didn't have him join. And now this client of mine, who a new client for him is worth low 6 to low 7 figures, he's building deep relationships with executives at companies who almost certainly need his help. And he's doing it in a very leveraged way through his Alchemy Network. He now has backdoor access to his ideal clients. Do you think that he has an unfair advantage over consultants competing against him? An unfair advantage even over the celebrity consultants in his industry, and every industry has them? Absolutely, because no one can compete with that unique relationship. And if you're a consultant and most or many of your clients come from referrals, relationships, introductions, from past colleagues from back when you were in the corporate world, from someone that you met when you were speaking, then you are spending a lot of time talking with people, emailing people, messaging people on LinkedIn, Facebook, and who knows where else. You're doing video calls with people. Perhaps you're meeting people for coffee, going to events and networking, COVID-19 permitting, hopefully, getting to know them, reminding them who you are and what you're up to. And even though most of them will never turn into paying clients, most of them will never make a meaningful introduction or referral to you, you do it because you kind of have to, because you never know who will be ready, and you never know when they're going to be ready. And you also never know which of them is about to introduce you to that perfect client. And all this is almost certainly after trying your hand at social media, content marketing, Facebook ads, other online marketing, and who knows what else, only to come to the conclusion that it's just not a fit for your personality, for your values, for who you are, for how you like to do things. As one of my clients said, it feels like putting on someone else's clothing. And anyway, as we said, most of your business tends to come from referrals and relationships. So why not focus on that? Well, there actually are reasons. One reason is because referrals are unpredictable. You can't know when they're going to show up. And if you are relying on referrals from past colleagues, people that you know from back when you were in the corporate world, well, you're probably already noticing that it's slowing down. People retire. They move on to other jobs. Some of them, they go out on their own, just like you did. And now they're scrambling for their own clients. Also, relationship building in general takes a lot of time, and there's no leverage in it. Unless you do backwards networking and you start your own Alchemy Network, then you've got leverage. Then you've got your unfair advantage, backdoor access to your ideal clients. And the best part, you can be making $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 a year or more from leading the relationships and the networking that you're currently doing for free. Not only that, but referrals become frequent and systematic, even predictable. That all sounds good, but what does it actually look like? Well, first, I want to tell you what it doesn't look like. I am not talking about a Facebook group. I am not talking about a LinkedIn group. I am not talking about a meetup, a Slack group, or a BNI style networking group. I'm not talking about a coaching program or a peer group. I'm not talking about an association. There are subtle nuances that make an Alchemy Network different from all of these. And it's those subtle differences that give you an unfair advantage. If anything, it's probably like a secret society, but without being stuck up and all snooty. So what does it look like? Back in the 1990s, I was a teenager and I read an article somewhere about Penn Jillette. Penn is the talkative half, even verbose half of the Penn and Teller magic duo. And the article talked about how Penn led his own private listserv, meaning an email conversation with a few dozen of his closest friends. And at the time, almost no one had email. And if you did, you've probably just gotten it, maybe by an AOL CD that you got in the mail for free. A listserv was and is an easy way to have a conversation with a group. If the group is a carefully curated collection of smart achievers, then this becomes one heck of a valuable private society. And if those smart achievers also happen to be potential clients for you, well, we will have hit on a remarkable way for you to become an under-the-radar leader in your industry. A remarkable way for you to create your own unfair advantage in getting great clients. Now, keep in mind, your Alchemy Network, it can be completely virtual, fully online, making it one of the most powerful ways to build relationships with your ideal clients in the era of COVID-19. The network that I've been leading for the last 10 years has always been online, and it is still fully online. Although from time to time, members who happen to be in the same city, they'll make sure to meet up and get to know each other in person. Here are some pictures from the last time that I was in New York City, made possible by my own Alchemy Network. There's a decent chance you might recognize one or two people from here. I'm not going to bother name dropping, it's just not my style, but you might. You'll probably also want to have monthly video calls with your group and one-to-one calls with members, because that's a great way to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening with each of them. And that's how you get advance warning when they're ready to work with someone like you. But how do you turn this into that $200,000 a year revenue stream I was talking about? How do you start getting paid mostly for things that you're already doing for free? Simple. You charge a membership fee, a modest membership fee. Now, I'm going to tell you right away that in some cases, I will advise you to offer a free membership, but that would only be temporary. Within 3 to 6 months, you'll be ready to start charging. And if you grow your network to 50 members who each pay $1,000 a year, that's $50,000. Now, it's not a lot of money, but it's $50,000 a year extra getting paid for building relationships with your ideal clients. In other words, you're getting paid for doing what you already do and what you've been really trying to do more of, except that now you're doing it in a far more leveraged way. Because before, you would have struggled to find reasons to stay in touch or reasons to get a conversation with them to begin with. You know what it's like, looking for articles that you could send to them, that kind of thing. But often, it's inelegant. It feels forced. You know what is so much better? When you actually know the real issues that they're really dealing with. And because they're in your Alchemy Network, which they find valuable, keeping your finger on the pulse of their business becomes easy. They want to talk to you. They want to keep you up to date on what's going on in their company, because they see that when you understand what they're dealing with, you make the whole network more valuable for them. And that's also where you uncover valuable consulting opportunities before any of your competitors. Now, what if you have 50 members paying $2,000 a year? That's $100,000. If you have 100 members, and I'd say that your goal should be to get to 100 members within 6 to 24 months, at $1,000 a year, that's $100,000. At $2,000 a year, that's $200,000. Most of that will be annual recurring, almost guaranteed income just for doing things that you already like to do. That's why earning $200,000 plus a year by leading a network of your ideal clients is absolutely doable. Now, this does not include the inevitable consulting and coaching clients that you're going to gain along the way. This is $200,000 in addition. If a new client for you is worth $15,000, $50,000, $150,000, you'll find it much easier and much more natural to uncover the best opportunities. Let's recap the key points that are really important for you to understand. I started off by asking you if I offered to help you to turn your relationship marketing from a time sink into a brand new $200,000 a year revenue stream. That means you are getting paid for things that you're already doing for free. Would you take me up on the offer? By now, you have a much better understanding of what I'm actually talking about. And if you already have a sense that building your own Alchemy Network and using it to become an under-the-radar leader in your industry is the right business growth strategy for you, and if you're the kind of far-seeing entrepreneur who already understands that there are no quick fixes, there are no easy buttons in business, and the best thing that you can do for your own business is to build your own platform for the long term, a platform that no one can take away from you when they change an algorithm or ad prices go up. And if you know that relationships are what will drive your business going forward, and if you're a consultant and you're really good at what you do, and you like the idea of getting paid $200,000 a year, mostly for things that you're already doing, but now you get to do them more easily, more systematically, then you just might qualify to work with me to design, to launch, and to monetize your own Alchemy Network. So there are 4 key steps in designing and launching your own Alchemy Network. And if you qualify, I will personally work with you to design, launch, lead, and leverage, that is, monetize your own Alchemy Network. As part of these steps, we will define your ideal member. So far, I only talked about a network comprised of your ideal members, but there are two more options. Sometimes it makes sense to build a network comprised of your colleagues or of recommenders. We need to think it through and make the right decision for you for the long term. Then I help you to craft the big idea behind your network, the idea that will make your ideal clients excited to participate. Strategize exactly how your Alchemy Network is going to drive your business. Decide on your payment model, set up your tech, and a number of other strategic decisions that you're going to need to make at the beginning. After your design is done, we move to phase 2, launch. In the launch phase, I help you to identify ideal candidates, lay out your big idea in a way that gets people excited about it, invite those candidates, interview those candidates, enroll the candidates, onboard the candidates as your new members. Then I guide you through phase 3, lead. I cannot tell you how many times I hear about people who were in the same, some kind of group, and it fell apart. And when they hear that I've been leading my network for almost 10 years, they're amazed. Well, it turns out that design matters and launching matters, but nothing matters more than wisely leading your new and growing network. During this important startup phase, I will help you to build a strong culture and a thriving community. Map out your members' first 100 days. Spark conversations that your members will want to join in. Encourage members to refer other members. Run your monthly video meetings. Handle the inevitable leadership challenges that always do come up, including when and how and if you should kick someone out. Know when and how to put your moderator hat on. Facilitate introductions between your members, as well as other people who would be a good person for them to know. And that brings us to phase 4, leverage, monetize, make the money flow. This is about systematically cultivating new consulting business for you. This is what you'll be earning on top of the $200,000. Knowing when to have one-on-ones with each member, how to listen for opportunities, and then how to sell them and close your next big deal, and so much more. I'm honestly shocked at how much I've developed over the last 10 plus years. And until recently, I didn't even realize it. But what shocks me even more is how blind I was to the value of what I figured out. But now I've got openings for 5 consultants who are not afraid of working hard. You just want to be sure that you're working hard on the right things, things that you know are going to work. And if that's you, then by the end of 90 days, you will have at least 10 to 15 new members with at least $10,000 in booked membership dues from your brand new Alchemy Network, plus a clear strategy to add up to 10 new members per month, all while feeding red hot leads to your core consulting business. And if that gets you excited, as it should, and you can afford to invest in getting some help to build your Alchemy Network, becoming an under the radar leader in your industry, and to start getting paid for much of what you've been doing for free, then fill out the application at profitablерelationships.com. I'll review it, and if I believe that you're someone I can help, we'll get on a call so I can answer all of your questions. If, when we're talking, I become convinced that you're someone that I can turn into a success story, I will invite you to get started. This is a remarkable opportunity, but I know that like anything, it's not for everyone. But if you are feeling drawn to what I've shared, it just might be for you. So fill out the application at profitablерelationships.com and let's begin.